just wanna be free with my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating on a revolution. The time is now. I just wanna be free. 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 Can't you see? I just wanna be free.
Hello, hello. Another episode of the Things I Wish I Knew About Money podcast. I'm your host, Kamille Smith. That's how it looks. Okay, so I am live and direct. This is episode 250, and I'm seeing how it looks on a different way. Wow, how come it looks so close up and things? But here we are. Let me switch to the other one, actually. Let's switch to this one. There. That feels much better. Hello, folks. Just a couple minutes late. Not a couple hours. We're here. We're live and direct. My voice is officially back. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. Welcome. Golly Bob. Well, since I last spoke to you guys, it's been a minute. Like, not a minute, a second, literally. I just want to say thank you again to the folks that have been listening, Also, I haven't forgotten. So I am still doing the Buy Blacks vote. So please. Should I do it here? Should I do it here? Let me see if I can post the how to vote. Please vote for me, y'all. There are 5 more days. I completely forgot the other day to talk about it, but now me remember, so I didn't forget this time. So please vote for me. Best Accountant. There are others that I follow. Odd Side Arts, Dance Infusion. Oh boy. I thought of it from the top of my head who I want to say congratulations or who to say. Oh my god. Oh, as told by a Canadian immigrant. That's content creator and stuff. So yeah. Please vote. It's until January 15th. If I've been spamming you all this time, my bad. It is what it is. I'm not trying to do. I didn't want to be annoying, but I guess I have been annoying for some folks to the point where they don't even message me unless I have an actual conversation. But yeah. Let's see. Today was a lovely day. I had another webinar with the Black Moms Connection. It was amazing. It was the highest audience that I've experienced with them. And it was so engaging. There were so many ladies that were just talking in the chat and everything. And I'm not used to, I'm used to seeing 5, 6 messages going on while I'm talking, but it was every time it was in double digits, and I was like, oh my gosh, ladies, I cannot answer these questions. So thank you again. It's pretty cool. This time around, other presenters are able to see what's going on as well. So I can't wait to watch next week and a couple of them, because based on the folks I know, the speakers that I know, their presentation is top notch. So I'm really excited to check it out. So yeah. And what else? Ooh, actually, let me put this Let me show this again, please vote for me so I'll be able to get some nice promotion going on this year. And hopefully with this promotion, I will be able to get like a VA or something throughout the year and stuff. So please vote for me. Okay. And let's see, we have a couple more commercials. So I'm going to do one commercial. The affirmations. Ooh, and the one thing I loved about today was I had the affirmations going on. Really lovely. So check it out here.
Your money story begins with your mindset. Each day, choose words that empower you. I attract wealth with confidence and clarity. I manage my finances with wisdom. I deserve abundance in every area of life. With every affirmation, you shift closer to the future you desire. Financial affirmation cards. Shift your money mindset today.
Boom, bam, bam. And yeah, with the affirmations, I was able to give positivity to the ladies. So I really loved that. I really like that I actually contributed to that affirmations. I'm glad I actually created it because especially as of late, I feel like I need that boost, that inspiration. And it's a little bit why I have this episode today, kind of like leewaying into what we talked about earlier today or this week. It's so funny that I'm talking about it because I did talk about budgeting. And I think the one thing that we don't realize is that we're not budgeting for actual life. We're actually budgeting for what we want our life to be. And I think that's one way for folks to get discouraged when it comes to their budget because they're like, oh no, Kamille, this is how it's gonna be. And I'm like, but is that how it is actually? And I've been guilty of that as well. I've been guilty. The times when, oh no, this is the projection, this is what's gonna happen, and then it doesn't actually happen. Has anyone else been in that situation where they have, this is how much money I'm going to be making? Oh, thank you, Beard Father. Boom, bam, bam. Has anyone else thought of this or been in the situation where they think the projected income they're going to make, so they base their budget based on that? Boy, reality hits you real hard, Reality hits you really hard when it comes to that. So I just wanted to have a discussion about that, and for us to really think about the structure that we have in our real lives, and not what the structure is in what society thinks we should do, the hustle culture, and also just the unrealistic expectations that we have, and we put that pressure on us. And remember, I was talking about pressure. I'm trying to, I don't want you, ladies and gentlemen, to have that pressure anymore, right? Like, that's really a pressure that is inconvenient to us, doesn't do us any favors, and we also, it just gives us more anxiety. So bear with me because I still haven't learned a way to make this to broadcast or showcase the episode just yet. If anyone knows an easier way to do it, by all means, please let me know. Tell me your secrets. I want to know. I do want to know. Trust me. And yeah. But before I start anything, I want to do the poll, the good old poll. See if I can multitask at the same time. And I am going to multitask, but I'm also going to do another commercial because I still think this commercial is pretty cool. So again, thank you, Dr. Vibe, for this one. Oh, oh, wowzers, wowzers. You know, I feel like my computer rebooted on me earlier. I'm pretty sure it did because I know I had it. I know I showed you guys, but it's fine. It is all dandy because in a matter of seconds, you will see it again. In a matter of seconds. There we go.
You're watching Things I Wish I Knew About Money with Kamille Smith. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Isn't that cool? Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Soon enough, I'll hopefully get one that is about 15 to 30 seconds. And man, if I had the ability to do that all the time, I would. I just don't have the actually no. I'm not saying I don't have the creative skill, but I definitely said what I wanted. So I'm a little creative sometimes, you know. But it is what it is. Okay. So as I mentioned before, I want to do a poll. But I have two screens going on, so bear with me. I like having two screens because it helps me keep afloat on what's happening, and then I don't get distracted. I always get distracted, but I digress. But when it comes to, okay, sorry, let me go back to the original topic. So when it comes to budgeting, and I do have articles. I'm not showing it today because it's on a different screen. It's on a different screen. However, clearly, when it comes to soft saving philosophy, it's really interesting because Gen Zs, I guess they have gotten things correct. Like, I find us millennials, we are kind of stuck in the wedge of what we learned from Gen X, baby boomers, but then we're kind of seeing what Gen Zs are doing, and we're like, we kind of want to do that, but we're not into that way that you guys do things. So it's like, let me just steer into like how Gen Zs are. But you know what? I will say kudos to the Gen Zs. They don't want to be like the older generations. They want to make life a little bit simple, and so they have this new concept called soft saving. So yes, what does soft saving mean? Basically, amidst of all the traditional financial advice, the most influencers on social media talk about saving. Clearly, I'm hungry again. Soft saving stood out to me because being 24, to be 24 again. I understand the generational appeal. It's a different take on traditional financial advice, and the idea of hustle culture is just a different stride. So, I'll type this. I actually like this one. If you rock with this, let me know. Because I respect this because I feel like for the longest time, a lot of us have done this. You know what? I had a feeling I was gonna do that. I could have bet money behind this part. So Okay. So use money to live life. Don't live life to make money. And I understand this because many of us, and I'm speaking for millennials, and this is for millennials that I spoke to that have either moved out, rented, bought a home, all that stuff. I know many, not many, but I know a good amount that when they decided to move out of their parents' nest, they almost had nothing, right? So basically, they were, let's say, rent poor, house poor. So those type of things that they would literally have a job just to pay rent. And ideally, it's frustrating because I know there's so many other things that we want to do, whether it's going on vacation, hanging out with people, going on dates, whichever. We want to live a different type of lifestyle that our parents or grandparents lived. But this is something where the Gen Zs clearly have a different perspective other than us millennials, right? Or even house poor. I've known many friends that they're like, hey, the only thing I have is this bed or this mattress. I don't have a couch yet. The couch is coming. Once I am able to save up some money, I'll get a couch. Or even Gen X, I won't say Z, Gen X or baby boomers would have that layaway type of aspect. So not only are they're already spending their future money that they're gonna get before they even got a chance to see it, right? So this is where I see like Gen Zs have, I can see this point. They've made a point. So basically, like the traditional approach is cut back, sacrifice, earn more, build an empire, sleep on a pile of cash in your 40s. They lied. They lied to us. They lied. I remember when it was like go to school, get a job, um, and then retire in 25, 30 years. They lied to us because everything that we followed along, we didn't factor in inflation. We didn't factor in tariffs, COVID, bubble bursts. What else? I say pigs because it was like the real estate thing that happened. That was 2008. We didn't factor those things in when we were millennials. So millennials, they, I know you feel the pain, and if you don't, kudos to you, right? Kudos to you. You were able to overcome all the things that some people weren't. Okay, and if you did, awesome. If you did, let me hold. I actually can't even do that sound a little bit because of the way I was talking so much today. I kind of mashed up my. I was gonna say the wrong word. I started coughing again and things, so I have to be mindful of how I speak today. So allow me. But yeah, that was one thing. That's one of their special, I guess you want to say, talents. Um, sorry, I'm trying to post it on. Trying to post it on Facebook too. Man, I can't wait to get someone to be in the background doing all this. If anyone wants to do this, by all means, you're more than welcome to contact me so we can work together. Okay, and the second one. It's because I'm typing slow, or I'm typing as I'm reading it. Okay. Oh, yeah, I feel like I did spell that wrong. Oh, see, I found out the stupid timer thing. Made sure. Drastically changes are unsustainable. Incremental changes are the way to go. Okay, this one I'm on the fence. I'll tell you why I'm on the fence. Certain things you should be able to have the discipline to go cold turkey. I, for once, think because I learned about discipline or self-motivation, I think I'm really able to just go cold turkey. If I'm not going to spend money on certain things, boom, I'm going to do it. But I also understand that when it comes to budgeting and having a sanity with that, it's also easier to just lower your stuff. So even today I was speaking to some ladies. Have a treat yourself fund. This way you're able to, instead of buying something 5 days a week, bring it down to 3 times a week or once a week. That is drastic. I know that is drastic, but sometimes you gotta look at your funds and say, maybe I should be more mindful, right? But the traditional sense is looking at your income, determining needs and wants, and setting tight budgets you must work with for the rest of the month. I think with soft saving, it's basically saying going through a long period of habit tracking, mindfulness, exercise, and priority alignment before deciding on a budget that reduces friction and stress in your life. Actually, I will rock with that. I can rock with that. Oops, you know what? That means I missed this part. Ooh. So sorry. For the first one, the traditional approach is that with the soft saving, it says hold on, take a deep breath. You need some self-care. The future is useless if you go crazy right now. Allow yourself some comfort, but do it mindfully. Actually, I like this. I like this. I like this. I vouch this. I vouch. I like how the soft saving is sounding, right? Oop. Guys, why didn't you mention it to me? I didn't do the poll yet. I know I need to put the poll up. Lance not eat. Ooh, we almost missed the poll. I wouldn't have missed the poll. Nope. This was very easy. I could have just. Let's see. Oops. So while I'm doing this, yeah. So I agree with this. Being mindful, being more mindful about it. Y'all only knew what just happened. When you have 2 screens and you have 2 keyboards in front of you. I do like this one. So being more mindful, and I like this soft saving. Actually, now that I think of it, now that I'm reading it in full, I am liking this soft saving. So you know, the Gen Zs, you guys have something. You guys have something, right? Ooh, let's go. Also, the third one, foregoing pleasure until you're financially stable. I don't really like that. Um, okay, having reasonable budgets for self-care days and mental health splurge. I don't know how I feel about that. That one's a different beast, but I digress. So then the third one that we have, I like this one too. You know what? I feel like I'm in the middle with all of these, and I think it's just because I'm a millennial, and like I said before, millennials normally have the trait of a Gen X baby boomer, but then also trying to I don't know be hip and cool with the Gen Zs. But I like this one. Replace stressful savings with mindful spending. And I actually was told something. Oh man, actually today's topic with the webinar was such an amazing day because just the women talking about their money trauma, poverty, PTSD, or just past trauma they had or toxic relationships they had with money, so inspiring. So I'm just thinking back because one lady asked, like, oh, why are we always focused on saving? Why can't we focus on saving in generational wealth, investing? And I say, yes, I agree. Um, but we also have to have that habit of having savings, the habit of saving, and then we can graduate into investing. And I always vouch for that. So in this case, replace stressful savings with and again, I'm on the fence with this because I think there's certain buckets that you're gonna have, so you're able to know what your goals are for those savings, but also mindful spending. So what? If you're if you are stressing out about saving money, then you're not saving. Soft saving argues that if the price to pay for financial wellness is burning out and feeling unfulfilled, then it's not a price worth paying. Instead, soft saving emphasizes that there's a way to make your finances user-friendly, sustainable, and fulfilling. That's interesting. And that's through mindful spending. By focusing on mindful spending, you can make intentional choices about where your money goes by knowing yourself, your habits, and your goals. I'm on the fence with this one. I'm on the fence. The reason why I'm on the fence with this one is because, and this is when you have to be honest with yourself. This is why. Stop budgeting for the life you wish you had. Are you actually being honest and saying, based on yourself, your habits, and your goals, does it align? Do all three align? In order for it to align, you have to be honest with yourself, right? So I think that plays a part as well. And also knowing that not all of these are going to be ideal for everyone, right? So here's a few tips. Can I write the tips? I can. I have time. We don't got nothing but time around here. My voice is back. If my voice does start to crack, oh, trust me, I'm cutting it short and everything. But but I still have my blended thing. I didn't want to have it yesterday. I don't know why. I decided not to have it yesterday, but I learned my lesson. Can't be chatting away. So again, pretty sure a couple of folks are happy about that and things. But first guidance starting with the soft saving is pause your spending. Well, I thought the Gen Zs were, but pause your spending. Before everything else, allocate a period of about 1 to 3 months for tracking your financial habits. Look at your expenses and review areas you can eliminate, downgrade, or limit. I feel like this is stuff that millennials do normally, right? but I could be wrong. What else? Yeah, you know what? I like that idea. I think pausing. I'm gonna do the timer off. I really don't like this timer. I think sometimes you're gonna have to take a pause on your spending when it comes to your wants. Obviously, you need to eat, but do you need to eat that fancy lobster? I'm talking to myself here. Obviously, you need to get from point A to B, but do you need to go take a Uber to drive, like to go down the street where you could have just taken the bus or walk? I'm not talking to myself. That could be someone. I am not that lazy, trust me. But it is wintertime, so oh, perfect. They do have it close to me. Yes. The next one is create a flexible budget, and I will vouch for this lady all the time. Gail, Debt Free Forever. A lovely book. It's Canadian based, so it's like Canadian based. So she gives amazing tips and tricks, and I think I definitely got to read it again, and I definitely have to read this one. Get good with money. And the one thing that I love about Budgetnista is that she kind of like makes you want to think about your future self, like your future. I don't know. I always say Susan, Sister Susan is my I don't know, when I'm in my 50s, 60s. And I know that if I continue to eat lobster and not save or invest more, Sister Susan is gonna be very sad. She won't be able to have lobster when she gets to that age, right? Or when I get to that age. So it's about being mindful and creating a budget, ideally. A flexible budget, or just, and I spoke about different type of budgets. Like you can make a budget according to what works with you, trying little bits of each other type of budgets. There's the 50-30-20, there's the 60% formula, there's the value-based budget, there's the cash only budget, there is the no budget, or just make sure you don't reach zero practically, right? So creating a flexible budget that works for you is ideal. This one is basically what we're talking about. And I don't want to put savings, but I'm gonna put it just because that's what it says. So set a realistic savings goal. Um, let's say this. If you know you cannot reach $10,000 in a year, please make a realistic goal, okay? And I say it like this because I don't want you to make a goal and then you're discouraged. You know that you have the discipline, but you don't have the discipline. So I really want you, ladies and gentlemen, to have a realistic saving goal, or have a realistic goal in sense. Golly, if I show you my 2025 goals, and everyone, like some of my close friends were like, okay, Kamille, what's your 2026 goals? Is like to do better than 2025. Okay, but to do better than 2025, because I I wanted to do this. See how you don't see my hand in the screen? But it was just too much. It was just too much. So I want to be more realistic. So my realistic goal is to do better than 2025. And if that's what you want and that's what you're striving for, kudos to you, boo. Trust me. I'm boom, right? So just set realistic goals, like goals that are actual achievable. And we could do, geometry. We can do it this way. You can have increments. And you see how I was talking about increments before? Instead of saying going high, have different tiers. Oh, first tier, I want to reach 100 or 1,000. Next one is 1,500 to 3,000. And then 5,000 to 10,000. At least each time you reach a milestone, you're like, oh, shucks. Because nothing makes you more excited than seeing that you've hit one of those tiers. So I think even doing that, I added a new one. Don't even worry about it. Adding that. So I think this one's easy. This is, whoa, I typed it twice. Prioritize mindful spending. And it's just like, don't forget that you can take breaks, modify your approach, prioritize your mental health. That must be a Gen Z thing. Is you don't have to explain that. Mindful spending to me is being mindful of the purchases that you do, that will reach your goal, that will hinder your goal, or add obstacles to it, and something that is obtainable to do. That is just me. Oh, well. Of course, this one's going to be on there. And I think I will forever preach this. No one can tell me not to do this. Build an emergency fund for the love of Jah. There's 3 things you can guarantee in my life. I added another one. Death, taxes, and shit happening. Something always happens. Oh my gosh, if I show you guys what I seen on TikTok, and I don't usually go on TikTok, but I was with my friend and she was looking at her TikTok. Someone, I'm sad for them. So Montreal, so anyone that doesn't live in Canada, oh, I think I did something. Golly, that would have sucked. Computer died on me. I just remembered that. Got dark a little bit. So I got scared. 18%. That was close. Okay, anyone that doesn't live in Canada, so it's winter here. It's pretty cold. I mean, it's decent this week. 3 degrees, 10 degrees, 12, so on. There was windy as frig yesterday. But in Montreal, that place, which is Quebec, there is more cold than here, I find. However, what you don't do in the winter time is turn off your heat. Do not turn off your heat. Oh my heat. So not only do they turn off their heat and a pipe burst, it's wintertime. Everything frozen, all down to the stove, right? So just to mention that, like, golly, emergencies. That's an emergency. Shit happens all the time, right? So you definitely want to build an emergency or a rainy day. And I say rainy day, safety net, all the above, because you never know what's gonna happen, right? Last thing I would want is someone to experience a burst pipe. Oh my gosh, I would have been so sad. And then the last one, I go to the next one. And I feel like this is just only makes sense, is no matter how you have your budget, there's things that are going to change in your life. Whether you get booed up, whether you have a new job, new business, lose a job, lose a client, have a partnership, business wise, all this stuff. Your finances is gonna change, whether it changes every month, every quarter. So just take a look at it and reflect. I really wish I had the journal that I had gotten recently, but just adjust accordingly. And I would say a bonus one is to review your bank statements and credit card statements. Like today I had someone say like, oh my gosh, Cam, I used the budget that we just said, and I just realized that there's this amount of money that I should have, but I don't know what it is. And I said there's a leak and you have to double check. So we always want to reflect and adjust accordingly. Sorry, Maxwell's going off crazy. I don't know why. So you just want to adjust and reflect and just be able to be mindful and all that stuff, right? Final thoughts. Some things need a do or die approach. I feel like that's what us millennials, Gen X, baby boomers were like. But Gen Zs want the softer things in life. They want the soft saving. Okay, so find the creative and interesting solution for your life, right? And yeah, it does. You know what? When you feel like it's a hustle, you really feel more burnt out. So I totally understand that. So I support this. I support this article and all that good stuff. And it's kind of segues into like why traditional plans fail. I think more so it's, and I do have another article. It's just the way that actual world applies. And I think it's more so that we see all these different financial gurus saying, oh, you need to budget like this, or you shouldn't use a credit card and all that stuff. And I think it's more so instead of having like the concrete plan that we usually were accustomed to, it's having a flow based spending plan. And I'll say this, instead of, if maybe you hearing budget is scary, right? And you need a different way to see it. So we'll call the strategy a flow based spending. Boom. And this is another article. And this is just so you don't feel like you feel like the traditional way of budgeting is not ideal to your lifestyle, and I get that. So how about doing I'll put this at least for 20 seconds, is a flow-based spending, right? You're not forced, it doesn't force judgmental ways on spending, whether it's your needs, wants, and all that stuff, or old school methods, but it's just a way to double check certain things. So first things first, and actually this is so funny because this is also something that I told folks to look at. The first thing you need to double check is your fixed expenses. List them all. And again, a fixed expense is when it's every month for sure. That's going to be the amount. Like clockwork. On the 15th, you're gonna be some 250. See what I did there? 250 is going to be taken out of your account, right? So list those fixed expenses, whether it's a bill, whether it's sorry, when I say bill, whether it's other expenses, so your rent, your mortgage, your utilities, subscriptions, phone, gym membership, those are internet. Internet should be the same. Utilities, it depends on the utilities. Loans, depends. You know, you don't have to use brain power on how to utilize those, right? List all those. Ooh, they use a different term. I usually use variables, but I guess they want to say something different. Let's be a, I'm not gonna diss you, Gen Z. I promise, promise. I'm not dissing y'all. Promise. I'm not dissing y'all. Set up a limit for flex expenses, and these require choice and energy. And I think it says choice and energy just because you have to really think what the amount's going to be, right? Because they fluctuate. Flex expenses, variables, it fluctuates, right? So grocery, shopping, clothes, entertainment, activities. Hey, maybe January is your low peak for expenses because you're still paying back on the Christmas gifts that you did. Hopefully everyone didn't spend as much. Or February for some of y'all, it's gonna be expensive because it's Family Day and Valentine's Day, Galentine's Day, whichever day you want to call it. So things like that, and so on and so forth. You just gotta determine which month is going to be more expensive, and then just basically review the last, and you'll be able to pick up on that if you look at the last year. 2025 was different. Look at 2024. You have at least 18 months to look at your bank statements, or maybe you have them paper. I didn't do, oh no, I'm lying. I did go paperless for my thing, but because I do my budget, I still see what's happening. What else? Review. Oops. I know a few of you can relate with this, especially folks with professions. Review your annual expenses. Listen, GoDaddy got me. GoDaddy got me the other day. I was like, what is this? So I definitely had to put that on my calendar. Reviewing your annual expenses, or if you are RMT, nurse. Ooh, teacher, you guys have your union dues, or professional dues. CPA, psychologists. Did I say it right? Maybe. Doctors and stuff. Check your annual expenses, or CFPs. There's other type of memberships. See if it's increased or it's decreased. Be mindful about that. The next one. And I think we talked about this a little bit. So I'm gonna say this quickly. Don't forget about your goals. You have short-term, mid, long-term goals. Sister Susan, my long-term goal, wants to have a luxurious life. I know it. Sometimes I bring my inner Sister Susan out too early. Lots of greater things in life. That's why I had to remember my goals, so I'm able to reach some of the stuff, right? So remember your short and long-term goals. emergency fund, investing, starting a business, buying a house, renting a house, big purchases, anything. Yeah, things like that. Don't forget your goals, because your goals are what keeps, it makes you have a purpose. I'm not saying if you don't have a goal, you don't have a purpose. I'm not saying that. I promise. But it's like, if I think of it that way, I know what things I have to do to be able to maneuver in this world, right? So then so those 4 steps, boom, bam, bam, each one of those steps should get you a monthly number to start your spending plan. Okay, so ideally, damn it, what's the joke? So I don't know why. Even the budget I did today for the ladies, basically, what was the amount? Did I find it? The amount, based if you're like 35, 44, single with kids. I know. I was going based on, never mind. There's nothing wrong with being a single mom. Yes, it would be lovely to have 2 incomes. However, even with a single mom, the expenses came up to $9,900 a month. And I said, oh my gosh, OMG, to have a fulfilling life, you at least have to have 10,000, make 10,000 a month. And the joke is, the example that they gave, it says 9,000. Ain't no difference in 10,000 to me, right? So, golly bob, right? So ideally, what this is trying to say is income needs to meet this plan would be 9,000. So ideally, if you know what your expenses are, you'll see what your potential is. But again, being realistic, stop budgeting for the life you wish you had. Because I know there's some people that don't spend 9,000. I know people that spend more than 9,000. So ideally, we want to be realistic with these goals. And remember, the milestone increments, right? So things like that. So either use a Google Sheet, you need a budget. Rest in peace to Mint again. I'm so sad that it's not here. Or there's templates. There's so many people have Etsy and templates that it's wild. Some of them are complicated, some of them are not. Whichever one works for you. But try this flow-based spending plan. You don't have to call it a budget. We can call it a flow-based spending plan, right? So hear me out on that one. And I want to say like that is because, like, again, traditional plans sometimes fail. And if you really feel overwhelmed, try this one. I think I spoke about this, visions versus goals versus habits. Actually, it reminds me what I heard before. Actually, it hits you guys where it hurts. Listen, I know you're envisioning that you're going to be a millionaire in a year. See, I should have rolled that. My bad. That's what you envision. You could do it. You could. It is possible. As long as you make the goals and you have the correct habits to make that. But if you know your goals are rocky and your habits are rocky, and this is coming from a person that's a procrastinator, right? If you know your goals and habits are rocky, the vision that you want you may not make it. Okay, so you have to be realistic. You have to be mindful. Your vision is your overall direction, right? Boom. Goals, there are some goals that you have that are realistic or not realistic. Once you've gained realistic goals, then you're on the right path. And once you're able to, what's the word? Analyze, reflect, and adjust your habits, then you can make it. And sometimes your habits are trash. Your habits are trash. I'm sorry. And sometimes when I say these things, I'm speaking to myself as well. But I also know that I have the discipline to do it, right? So change your habits. Change your habits. Boom, bam, bam. Oh, and the last one, I promise. Capacity. I am having a struggle. It's real, y'all. I wanted to correct me, but it's not. Maybe because. And the last one. Did I shoot off the other one? Sheesh. Yes. Last but not least. You know, you guys, you know I like to chat. I know I'm gonna have to rest my voice because I have another webinar coming up this week. Big up ACBN! Sorry, it's so random. Capacity-based planning. Is it there? Okay. So capacity-based planning, you may think, what is that all about? It's ideally making sure that you have the capacity to do these things, right? Creating yourself a financial wellness checklist. I'm not gonna post this. I'm just gonna say it real quick and see how long it's been. Financial wellness is ability to live comfortably today and still have the means to support yourself. Like physical health, financial wellness requires regular maintenance and checkups to ensure you're on the right path. So here are some questions to ask yourself. Am I saving enough money for emergencies? Am I spending more than I make? What is my credit score? How can I improve it? How much is my retirement savings worth today? Do I have a disability protection if I can't work? That's important, especially for us folks about to reach 40. Golly. Do I have a will and is it up to date? Is my life insurance covered enough to provide for my family? That's really important. Encourage and mentor each other. And I think that's like within your family, within your friends, within your community. Hi, Dr. Vibe. With community, he dislikes that word. Or tribe, village. The point of this is to have those discussions and be able to have a healthy discussion about finances, right? So try to have conversations to share information or financial experiences, help others better understand how to navigate the economy. The economy is shit. Allow people with similar goals or interests to come together. And I think not only allowing individuals that have the same interests, but also broadening our horizon. Like, as much as I love talking with folks that like the same thing as me, like personal finance, yo, when I like talk to folks that love stocks and personal finance, we can chat for days. But I also like talking to folks that have basic knowledge of it and like, you know, trying to teach them a thing or two or learning something else new. Like the amount of stuff that I've learned about darn it, I'm trying to test myself. Like nursing and stuff. Don't know all the words, but if I was, I'm not saying give me a test. No, don't give me a test. But I'm sure to remember certain things or and such things like that. Just because, you know, I learn from different folks, or like personal training, or what's another one? Another one I want to learn is cybersecurity or AI. But of course, I know a lot about AI because that's the webinar I'm doing on Wednesday. So encouraging and mentoring each other, that will help build your capacity-based planning. Another one is build financial resilience. I feel like I'm saying the same thing. It's setting a financial goal, having a budget, build the emergency fund, pay off your debt, know where your money is. And this is basically with capacity-based planning, it's pacing yourself, knowing how much energy you can put towards a spending plan. I'll say spending plan going forward. The time, caregiving load, or I'll say mental load. The mental load to do that, and the mental space. So basically pacing yourself to make this plan work. And what else? I don't want to do this one. I think I spoke enough. Practical ways to adjust. And yeah, like I did a poll today. Big up whoever commented on it. But yeah, if you are, so it is 2026. It's a new year. I finally have the energy. I will kid you not. My energy was so low that the bare minimum was doing the bare minimum for the last couple weeks. But I'm now in that mode where I'm kind of, and I know the Gen Zs don't want to hustle hard, but I'm finding the balance where I have the energy to actually do a little bit more than I normally do. But I also am now listening to my body when it says rest your blood. Sorry. No swearing, no cursing. So I'll say like the least. When it comes to the life, I know, I get it. There's a life that you wish you had or wish you're having, and reality is kicking our arse, right? So instead of having the budget of the life that you wish you had, bring it back. And you know what? By all means, contact me at info@fitness.com. Book an appointment. We'll be able to sit down and make sure we have a realistic goals that you want to do, and strive to do better. If 2025 was shitty for you, let's try to find a way to do better this year. What books can you read? What podcasts can you listen to? What audiobooks can you listen to have a better understanding of budgeting? Maybe we should be like the Gen Zs and have a soft savings life. You know, I feel like they want that soft era. There's this new saying, the soft era life. Golly, I can't wait, baby. But you know what? I feel like my soft era life will be based on my dividends. So I'm waiting for my dividends to give me that soft era life that I want, and it will come. Ooh, can't remember what the amount was. I wish I took a photo. But I am gonna have a post of moving taxes next. Because to the folks, my clients, I know I said I was gonna do something before the year ended. There's still time because you could do your RSPs, right? So there's still time. But I still want to give you guys that, or I'm thinking of going back to, as soon as I finish your tax, I'm just going to give you the game plan what to do. And add that into the tax summary that I have and then just send that. I feel like that makes more sense than waiting till after. So I'm going to see how that works. I still want to do the old, like the previous ones, because I still think there's a chance for others. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about taxes. I'm going to be talking about, there's something else I just thought of. I think for February, I'm going to be talking about more like love, money type of things. I want to have like fun episodes. I also want you, ladies and gentlemen, to tell me what you want to hear. I'm good with that too. This podcast is not only for me, it is for you too. What do you want to learn about? What do you want to hear about? Who do you want me to interview? Show them these episodes and things, right? So let me see. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Subscribe. It's a new year. I want to try to make 1,000. If I can get the 1,000 this year, hey, do better than 2025. Hey, right? What else? Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and check on your strong friends. You never know what they're going through and things. And buy me a coffee. Buy me a matcha. I haven't had a matcha. That's a lie. Ooh, there's a place that has Dubai chocolate matcha. Fire! Woo! But on that note, I will think about matcha and everything. And till next week, folks. Peace and love. Don't forget to vote. Vote, vote, vote. Hold on. You have 5 more. You have 5 more days to vote for me. Help me. Vote, vote, vote. 24 hours each time. Vote. Did you vote today? I know I didn't send out the message. Sorry for pointing it. Sorry. But I'm asking, I'm begging, pleading. Vote. All right. Much love.
I just wanna be free with my people to prosper and hold it down. Don't you sit and wait, contemplating on a revolution. The time is now. I just wanna be free. I just wanna be free. I just wanna be free.